I don't know anything anymore. Matt Gaetz is apparently being investigated by the Department of Justice for sex trafficking, for paying for a 17-year-old girl to travel around the country across state lines. Theoretically, that's what sex trafficking is. He was, in 2017, the only member of Congress, the House or the Senate, to vote against a bill providing for harsh punishment for sex traffickers, for child sex traffickers. The only one. 538. He was the only one who voted. Republicans, Democrats, everyone. He was the only one that voted against it. Welcome, everyone. I am your host, your Heavenly Father. This is the live stream. When I heard that Matt Gaetz was doing an interview with Tucker Carlson, I had to share it with you. So we'll take a look at that. The New York Times broke a story today that since the middle of last year, Tucker Carlson has been the target of an investigation by the New York Times. In that same article, Tucker Carlson claims that he was a subject, not a target, and that somebody at the Department of Justice in Florida was trying to blackmail his family for $25 million. And said that there is no 17-year-old girl. So, in Matt Gaetz's mind, the Department of Justice created this many, many months ago under the Trump administration, and Bill Barr was aware of this. But this was created, this investigation was fabricated, a made-up 17-year-old, also that a Department of Justice employee could blackmail his family 8-9 months down the line. That's the long game. Honestly, I admire it. I admire it. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. Let's get right into the interview. I hadn't planned on coming on the air tonight, but let's do it. This is Tucker Carlson, and this is Matt Gaetz. And let's go to the beginning of the interview here somewhere. I just grabbed the screenshot out of this, but I know. Let's see if he interviews him before the break. He does not. No, it looks like he comes on right here. So let's see if we can find out where this interview starts, and we'll go from there. Dr. Seuss cancel culture. Okay, well we gotta watch this ad, whatever this is. Go ahead. 7750 steel. I want you guys to hear it too. Gone with the Wind. Of course, everybody knows GWTW as they call it in Atlanta, which is 4 extra syllables. That's Atlanta for you. What do you guys think this is an ad for? Mr. Potato. This is for Hannity or something. This is for Dr. Laura, probably. Mr. Potato Head canceled. Here it comes. Canceled. Peter Pan. Peter Pan's been canceled?
Craig's Canceling Cancel Culture. Gutfeld premiering April 5th.
Oh, God. He's got his own show now. He already had his own show. Oh, they're putting him on up against Brian Williams. So he's going to be doing, I guess, this looks like it might be a nightly show, unless April 5th. Is that a Monday? Hold on. Let's go to April in our calendars, kids. You can do it with me at home. Yeah, that's a Monday. So it looks like 5 nights a week, maybe fewer. We'll be getting Greg Gutfeld at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I will be watching Brian Williams.
On Fox News Channel.
Congratulations to producer Joanna on being first. And everybody else on being first.
Just a couple of hours ago, late this afternoon, the New York Times ran a story saying that Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz is under federal investigation for playing some role in sex trafficking and potentially having a relationship with a 17-year-old girl.
Some role. The article very clearly states that he is accused of being a sugar daddy for a 17-year-old girl, and having sex with her. Some role. Could be the sugar daddy, could be the dominator, could be the Hoosier. We don't know. That's got to be a sex term. I don't even know. He could be paying her for Cleveland Steamers. We don't know.
There are very few details in major news.
We don't know. False accusations are made all the time, but are those false accusations investigated for months by the Department of Justice, to the point where someone inside the Department of Justice thinks, you know what? This is worth going to jail for. This is so juicy. and I could bury this, I bet they'd be willing to pay $25 million because there's something here. Here's the deal. If you don't think there's something there, if you don't think there's something credible, you don't blackmail on it. Hey, you, give me $25 million or I'm going to tell everyone that your son masturbates with mayonnaise. No. There's no evidence of this. And if so facto, does that work?
News outlets tonight about this story. We have no background on it all and not even any very informed questions.
You have no questions. No, I can come up with 10 questions right now. The chat room itself, that's what he should do. Tucker Carlson should have a chat window like I do. So even if I can't think of a single question, how about this? Matt, did you have sex with a 17-year-old? Matt, you said you were a subject but not a target of the FBI investigation. Do you want to clarify that? What? Producer Joanna, who gave up sugar for New Year's, just wants some sugar. Why are you doing this, Kevin? Because it's hilarious. That's why. I don't know. We don't know whether he's guilty or not. But you know what those Republicans always say? Where there's smoke, there's fire. So he's on the Tucker Carlson show, which is interesting. Tucker Carlson, of course, has been accused of sexual harassment in the past. Sean Hannity, where Matt Gaetz appears regularly on an almost nightly basis, he's been accused of sexual harassment in the past. Of course, Jennifer Eckert, who was a frequent guest on both of their shows, accused both Hannity and Tucker Carlson just last year, I think it was 2019 or 2020, accused them of sexual harassment. And Fox, in fact, fired Ed Henry over her accusations. I guess she had some kind of proof with that. But Fox claims that the accusations against Hannity and Tucker Carlson have no merit whatsoever. Oh, but we're firing Ed Henry. Those accusations, those have credibility. Those had some evidence, is what those had. So Ed Henry's gone. Hannity and Tucker Carlson both escaped because there's probably no evidence against them. I don't know if that case is still ongoing. I just remember Ed Henry getting fired sometime during the pandemic, October, whatever it was. But no, yeah, Tucker is completely innocent. Tucker was also accused of sexual harassment a long time ago, back when sexual harassment was like, oh, okay, give him some money. Way before the Me Too movement. And I don't know the details of that. I just remember that was the case. But let's find out. He may be thinking he's got a sympathetic ear. It'll be interesting to see if he goes on Hannity after this as well. Or if just the one show. I don't know why I have a wing on one side today. Please ignore me. Big thanks to Allison Stormborn for donating today. Some of you were trying to help me win a pair of skate blades, because my skates have very little blade left on them, my hockey skates. And there was a pair that was going to be given away on Instagram, and it was, and we didn't win, but I appreciate everybody's help. And Allison came through with some funding for them. And so, Allison, thank you very much. If you'd like to help me fund things besides my skate blades, you're welcome to. Patreon, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Way up in the corner, if you live in the U.S. and you don't already have the Cash App, get it. It's great. You can get yourself a little debit card. Comes right out of your bank account, but you get all kinds of discounts. Whole Foods, Taco Bell, Burger King, I think. Don't quote me on any of this, but do quote me on this. You get $1 off anytime you buy a coffee in the United States, as long as that coffee costs more than $1.50. Doesn't have to be a recognized store like Starbucks. It could be your mom and pop. Every time you buy a coffee, you go in there, you spend $2 on a cup of coffee, the Cash App will give you $1 back. It's insane. And if you send me $5, they'll give you that money back. That's it. Get the Cash App, use the $ Kevinly Father to send me $5. You get that $5 back, and then I get $15 for referring you. How do you get the debit card? In the Cash App. There's a thing where you can order your debit card. You can even design it yourself. I don't want to ruin anything, but I designed that myself. There's a story there. I'll tell you that story some other time.
Instead, we've invited Congressman Gaetz on the show to respond to these stories.
But you don't have any questions for him. You know, I don't know what questions you would ask.
And give us his view of them. Congressman, thanks so much for coming.
His view of what? The allegations? Where did we start this? That was about 10 minutes ago.
Major news outlets tonight about this story. We have no background on it all and not even any very informed questions. Instead, we've invited Congressman Gaetz on the show to...
I mean, there's like a 5-page New York Times article that has to do with the tax collector in the Panhandle that apparently has met and knows Matt Gaetz and Roger Stone. And he was convicted. No, sorry, he's been indicted with child sex trafficking charges. Terrible, terrible person, by the way. Watch the beginning of Rachel Maddow's show tonight because she covers the investigation of that individual, the Republican tax collector, in depth. That investigation apparently led them to Matt Gaetz. This is the supposition at this point. We don't know. We don't know. But I can't think of any questions I would ask Matt Gaetz.
Respond to these stories and give us his view of them.
Yeah, we won't get into what, but watch Rachel. Watch the beginning of the Rachel Maddow show. I can't show it to you, but watch the beginning of the Rachel Maddow show today because, yeah, this guy spent like $65,000 of taxpayer money to set up a whole bunch of servers in the offices in order to run his own small business, which it sounds was suspiciously like something like mining Bitcoin. So he bought a bunch of servers to mine Bitcoin, to make money with Bitcoin, blockchain, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he set them up and they caught fire. This is all part of the story. Not Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz' friend, we think? Or somehow somebody who got Matt Gaetz involved with child sex trafficking. We don't know. And I would think of no questions there. Hey, so the Times said there's this tax collector guy that knows you and somehow you're involved with sex trafficking with this tax collector guy or something. What else is going on? Think the Marlins will do well this year? They got a chance. They got a chance. There's always a chance. Beginning of the season, right? You've got a perfect record. No other questions. Well, thanks for coming on.
Congressman, thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate it. So this is obviously a serious allegation. Tell us what the truth is from your perspective.
Yeah.
It is a horrible allegation, and it is a lie. The New York Times is running a story that I have traveled with a 17-year-old woman, and that is verifiably false. People can look at my travel records and see that that is not the case. What is
Okay. Did you fly her out there separately? Did ya? Because you just said that they said that I traveled with a 17-year-old. Did you fly her out there separately? Did you have her drive across state lines? Did you fund her and have sex with a 17-year-old woman? Or is it just the traveling thing you didn't do, so it doesn't count? You didn't not with her. She sat 2 rows back.
happening is an extortion of me and my family involving a former Department of Justice official. On March 16th, my father got a text message demanding a meeting wherein a person demanded $25 million in exchange for making horrible sex trafficking allegations against me go away. Our family was so troubled by that, we went to the local FBI. And the FBI...
Again, you don't blackmail someone saying, I can make this thing disappear if there's no thing, Matt. He's guilty. Judges agree. And now they're not federal judges. They're just state judges. And one of them's what, a municipal, like a magistrate? A magistrate. But come on. This would be like, I'm trying to think of something that Biden's been accused. Like, yeah, there's something funny though. I don't know. I discovered something about myself today.
And the Department of Justice were so concerned about this attempted extortion of a member of Congress that they asked my dad to wear a wire.
I got it. This would be like saying, hey, Send us $25,000 if you ever want to see your daughter alive again. And your daughter's sitting right here. Did you forget to kidnap the child? God damn it!
Which he did with the former Department of Justice official.
Yeah.
Tonight, I am demanding that the
This is called obfuscation, when you take a vacation at the office. So yes, apparently someone with the Department of Justice decided he could blackmail the Gaetzes, and his dad wore a wire. This is a story. We don't know that this is true. So yeah, there was some blackmail. But again, there's no blackmail if there's nothing to blackmail with. Do you see how that works? DOJ guy is not going to risk going to jail for blackmail if there's nothing there.
Department of Justice and the FBI release the audio recordings that were made under their supervision and at their direction, which will prove my innocence and that will show that these allegations aren't true. They're merely intended to try to bleed my family out of money. And this
a 9-10 month investigation. We're not really sure when it opened. This is by an informal source, a source for the New York Times. That's what I've seen so far on it. It could be out there in other news outlets already. NBC could have verified it. We don't know. I don't know. I turned on Rachel and then I checked Twitter and I'm like, oh, he was on Tucker Carlson.
Former Department of Justice official tomorrow.
Lizzie says it's a bitch hunt.
Was supposed to be contacted by my father so that specific...
Wait, what?
And that will show that these allegations...
This is what I'm saying. This is the long con. I'm impressed. Go ahead. No?
Allegations aren't true. They're merely intended to try to bleed my family out of money. And this former...
Because that's what you do. You make up these allegations and then you wait around for 10 months. You know, you don't start this before the election when it could harm him politically. March, the following March.
Department of Justice official tomorrow was supposed to be contacted by my father so that specific instructions could be given regarding the wiring of $4.5 million as a down payment on this bribe. I don't think it's a coincidence that tonight...
Why are you talking about this? Would letting the person who is blackmailing you know that your father was wearing a wire and that the FBI is aware of this meeting tomorrow, would that not somehow stymie the investigation just a little?
Somehow, the New York Times is leaking this information, smearing me, and ruining the investigation that would likely...
Oh, it's the New York Times that's ruining everything. Okay.
Result in one of the former colleagues of the current DOJ being brought to justice.
What does that mean? The former colleagues of the DOJ. Employee of the DOJ? Because that's not what that sentence means. Am I wrong, guys? Is that? Listen to what he calls this individual. I think the person's name is out there too.
Coincidence that tonight somehow the New York Times is leaking this information, smearing me, and ruining the investigation that would likely result in one of the former colleagues of the current DOJ being brought to justice for trying to extort me and my family.
Former colleagues of the current DOJ. Can the Department of Justice have a colleague? He means employee, right?
So a couple of obvious questions that come to mind, and again...
Oh, now you have questions. Oh, he's gonna and again, I apologize for coming up with any questions whatsoever, but...
Just to restate, this just happened. Don't have any other information beyond what we've already said and you have said.
Oh, and the New York Times article. Also that. You have that information, which is the information everyone has.
First of all, who is this department?
No, he means a friend of an employee. So this isn't someone who worked in the DOJ? Well, we might find out. Hopefully we find out here soon.
Justice, former employee who's trying to extort the money from you, you say.
His name is...
Okay. Oh, no, here we go. We're going to get the name. So this is a former employee of the DOJ, a former colleague of the current DOJ. I'm not sure, like, was the word current in there? Is that why I'm confused? I don't know.
So a couple of obvious questions that come to mind.
Yeah.
And again, just to restate, this just happened. Don't have any other information beyond what we've already said and you have said. First of all, who is this Department of Justice former employee who's trying to extort the money from you, you say?
His name is David McGee. He was a top official in the leadership in the Northern District of Florida as a prosecutor. He currently works at the Beggs and Lane law firm. As a matter of fact, one of the recordings that was made at the FBI and Department of Justice request occurred at that law firm, and the money that was supposed to be paid today that would have shown even more evidence of David McGee's work in this extortion scheme.
I love that his name just rings true of a 1970s folk song. You and me and David McGee.
That was foiled by the New York Times story, and I believe that's why this horrible information and these terrible allegations have been used this evening.
Who have been used? Is someone... I can't even respond to that.
So you're, and I'll get to the investigation in a sec, but you're saying that David McGee was motivated by greed. He was trying to extort money from your family. That's his motivation, you're saying.
Okay, but he's a prosecutor in Northern Florida. Is he an employee, a former employee of the...
I know that there was a demand for money in exchange for a commitment that he could make this investigation go away along with his co-conspirators. They even claim to have specific connections inside the Biden White House. Now, I don't know if that's true. They were promising that Joe Biden would pardon me. Obviously, I don't need a pardon. I'm not seeking a pardon. I have not done anything improper.
And Joe Biden would not give you a pardon. So Representative Matt Gaetz accused... I'm looking at the National Review right now, which, let's see, looking to Gaetz... Joel Greenberg. Gaetz is saying Gaetz identified David McGee. And who is David McGee? Well, this... So he's saying David McGee is a prosecutor, but is also a prosecutor for the Department of Justice, because he has said that it is somebody with the Department of Justice.
Proper or wrong. But what I am troubled by is the real motivation for all of this. You know, just tonight, Ted Lieu, a Democrat, is calling on me to be removed from the House Judiciary Committee, and I believe we are in an era of...
So now Ted Lieu is in on this as well? Hey, long con. I'm with you, Ted. Nice work.
Our politics now, Tucker.
You could have done this before the election, though. If you were really trying to get Matt Gaetz out of Congress, you really should have come up with the he sleeps with 17-year-old charges before the election. Come on, Ted.
Where people are smeared to try to take them out of the conversation. I'm not the only person on screen right now who's been falsely accused.
Oh. This is about taking Matt Gaetz out of the conversation, not about Matt Gaetz going to jail. It's about taking Matt Gaetz out of the conversation. Maybe we should be concentrating on taking Matt Gaetz out of the teenagers.
Of a terrible sex act. You were accused of something that you did not do, and so you know what this feels like. You know the pain it can bring to your family, and you know how it just puts people on defense when you're accused of something so salacious and awful. But it did not happen. It is not true. And the fact that it is the basis of this attempt to extort my family tells a lot. And if the FBI and Department of Justice will release the tapes that they are in possession of, the American people will see what is really going on.
You just referred to a mentally ill viewer who accused me of a sex crime 20 years ago.
Yeah, we talked about that.
And of course, it was not true. I'd never met the person. But I do agree with you that being accused falsely.
I don't remember what happened in the end of that accusation. It was 20 years ago. But I think Tucker wasn't even on Fox at that point. Was he on CNN? I forget. Anyway, but he's still on the air, bottom line.
Is one of the worst things that can happen.
But in those days, sexual accusers were just paid off. And that was that.
and you do see it a lot. Let's go back to the investigation. You say that it was or is underway. There was an investigation. What is the basis of that investigation? What is the allegation? That's really not very clear from these news stories.
Yeah, again, I only know what I've read in the New York Times. I can say that actually you and I went to dinner about 2 years ago. Your wife was there, and I brought a friend of mine. You'll remember her. And she was actually threatened by the FBI, told that if she wouldn't cop to the fact that somehow I was involved in...
I'm trying to think, if I had dinner with someone 2 years ago, if I would remember this person that I had dinner with 2 years ago. When was 2 years ago? 2 years ago was before COVID, so that was 10 years ago in my head. I can't remember if I took my pills this morning. Without the little Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday little flippy thing, I would OD on a daily basis. 2 years ago, someone I had dinner with? No, I think about that back in my dating days, which were, oh boy, a long time ago. But, you know, I had gone out with dates with people. I don't remember their names. I don't remember them much at all. I don't remember my own birthday. You remember the girl? She was of age, I swear. Yeah, is that where he's going with this? You remember we had dinner and she was a lovely, she was a scholarship recipient. Let's see where this goes.
Some pay-for-play scheme that she could face trouble. And so I do believe that there are people at the Department of Justice who are trying to smear me, you know, providing for flights and hotel rooms for people that you're dating who are of legal age is not a crime. And I'm just troubled that the lack of any sort of legitimate investigation.
Okay, I found him. This is David L. McGee. I'm just going to show you his picture, and then you guys tell me if he's guilty or not. I'll read what it says here. Mr. McGee has an extraordinary range of experience in matters before federal courts. He practiced law for more than 37 years. Prior to going to private practice, he served for 6 years as the first assistant at the United States Attorney General's office, and for 7 years as the lead attorney for the United States Department of Justice Organized Crime Task Force. So yeah, he's a DOJ, former DOJ employee, now a partner or an employee at Beggs and Lane, attorneys at law. There he is right there. Is he guilty? Is he is he blackmailing Tucker's family? Not Tucker's family. Is he blackmailing what's the other guy? Matt Gaetz, his family? So confused. Tucker is referring to, he's saying somebody was mentally ill, accused him of sex violations or whatever 20 years ago. Jennifer Eckert just accused him in 2020. And Hannity and Ed Henry. Ed Henry was fired. Ed Henry wanted to make her his sex slave or something like that. Now, in their defense, they're terrible people. Plus, Jennifer Eckert she's a looker. And you know, us men, we can't control ourselves. We're sexual addicts.
To me,
I'll be sleeping alone tonight. As I did last night. I should, hold on. I can find you, let's see if there's any Jennifer Eckert news, if that was ever settled up. Let's see. And I have no bones with or for Jennifer Eckert, but she was a frequent guest on Tucker Carlson and then sued them. And some people like this. Some people like that. That's just Jennifer Eckert. She accused Hannity, Tucker, and Ed Henry, possibly others. I haven't seen the lawsuit. They fired Ed Henry. I don't know if it's still ongoing with Tucker, but that might be why Matt Gaetz, as pretty as he is, thinks that this is a safe space. I don't know.
Would then convert into this extortion attempt.
I don't remember the woman you're speaking of or the context at all, honestly. But I would...
He doesn't remember the dinner 2 years ago. Tucker's not as old as I am, but yeah, I get that. If I was ever in court, and then, where were you on the night of April 24th, 2018? I don't know. What? Was I binge watching? Check my Netflix account. I have no idea. Who keeps a personal calendar and diary? I mean, besides Brett Kavanaugh, we don't. Permute? Yeah, that's not... permute is a derivative of permutation, something that becomes. So, yeah, it's a word. It's a word. No one ever uses it that way, but that's what it means. So, yeah, permute.
I'd like to know who. So they're saying there is a 17-year-old girl who you had a relationship with. Is that true? And who are they? Who is?
Becomes. Don't, Lizzie. Somebody block Lizzie. Somebody buy Twitch and block Lizzie.
Who is this girl? What are they talking about? The New York Times.
The person doesn't exist. I have not had a relationship with a 17-year-old. That is totally false. The allegation.
Okay, that's different than earlier when he said, I haven't traveled with a 17-year-old, but interesting. Well, it'll be interesting to find out.
As I read it in the New York Times, is that I've traveled with some 17-year-old in some relationship. That is false, and records will bear that out to be false.
I don't know what records. Now, it doesn't stop him from attacking Eric Swalwell for having an affair with a Chinese spy, even though there's absolutely no evidence that there was any sort of sexual relationship whatsoever between Swalwell and Feng Feng. And as soon as they found out, as soon as he was informed by the DOJ or the FBI or whoever informed the offices, hey, she's actually a Chinese national who we suspect is spying, all ties were cut. That doesn't stop Matt Gaetz from bringing it up. Records will play out. I keep a record of every people that I haven't had sex with, including the peoples that don't exist. She was 17 3/4.
How long has this investigation been going on? Do you know?
I don't know.
When were you first informed of it?
Again, I really saw this as a deeply troubling challenge for my family on March 16th when people were, talking about.
According to the New York Times, he was informed that he was a subject. Hold on, let me. I can search the article because I just read it. Matt said in an interview that his lawyers had been in touch with the Justice Department and that they were told he was the subject, not a target, of an investigation. I only know that it has to do with women, Mr. Gaetz said. I have a suspicion that someone is trying to recategorize my generosity to ex-girlfriends as something more untoward. They're trying to permute that shit. Tucker has the same puppy dog expression. All that. What is my human doing?
A minor, and that there were pictures of me with child prostitutes. That's obviously false. There will be no such pictures because no such thing happened. But really...
Well, then why are you worried about the blackmail? If there's no such pictures, okay. I'm sorry, but David L. McGee looks like he knows a thing or two. If he's the one trying to do the blackmail, there's probably some smoke with that fire.
On March 16th was when this got going from the extortion standpoint.
So what happens next? I mean, you can see there is this investigation, I guess a criminal investigation. I'm not quite sure where the sex trafficking part comes in. I don't, again, for the fifth time, I don't really understand.
He doesn't understand. You're talking to the guy. Ask him some questions about that. Well, it doesn't exist. Oh, okay. All right. Well, then, why is someone blackmailing you for things that don't exist? Why is that? It's a fairly obvious question, right? I'm not the only one who's thinking of this question. Who's somebody dumb? Somebody dumb in the chat room. You thought of that, right?
This story very well, but where does it go from?
Judges, did you think of that? They did. See? They're idiots.
Here, I mean, you've made an allegation against someone by name on the air and accused him of trying to extort millions of dollars from your family. What happens tomorrow?
Both can be true.
Well, what was supposed to happen was the transfer of this money.
Okay, Marcy. Marcy thought of the question. So, yes, it's an obvious question. We love you, Marcy.
That would have implicated the former colleague of these current DOJ.
I was like, you know what? I'm just going to broadcast for 6 minutes, 10 minutes, however long the interview is, say goodbye and get out of there. We're now on minute number 37, so...
DOJ officials. But that's obviously not...
Okay, let's go back because I just lost my train of thought.
Trying to extort millions of dollars from your family. What happens tomorrow?
Well, what was supposed to happen was the transfer of this money that would have implicated the former colleague of these current DOJ officials. But that's obviously not going to happen tomorrow because the New York Times story was leaked in order to quell that investigative effort. So here's what needs to happen next. The FBI and the Department of Justice...
So now the New York Times is trying to block the investigation of the Department of Justice. That's how things are happening in Matt Gaetz' head. That the New York Times is only reporting this on this long con scheme that's been going on for months in order to block the DOJ investigation of a blackmail scheme for which there is nothing to blackmail. Yeah, I'm still demonetized, Stephanie. Good night, LP. Get some sleep. I know it's late there. It's 11 o'clock. Go to bed. Go save some lives tomorrow, please.
Must release the tapes that are in their possession that were done at their direction. Those tapes will show that I am innocent and that the whole concept of sex charges against me was really just a way to try to bleed my family out of money and probably smear my name because I am a well-known, outspoken conservative, and I guess that's out of style in a lot of parts of the country right now.
Oh, okay. So the guy that was... Where is he? Bring him back. Bring back the guy. Where is he? There he is. So David L. McGee of Beggs and Lane, it's your contention that the guy who for 6 years served as the first assistant to the United States Attorney Office and then for 7 years was the lead attorney for the United States Department of Justice Organized Crime Task Force, that guy set up this whole long con scheme to try and get $25 million out of your family. But there was nothing there. Just made it all up so that he could try and get $25 million out of your family. At Random gets a dog tomorrow. At Random gets Rusty tomorrow. Let's get back to the interview.
Matt Gaetz, I appreciate your coming on tonight.
That's it?
Thanks for giving me the chance to tell the truth, Tucker. I appreciate it.
It's a more interesting and complicated story than I knew from reading about it. Thank you very much.
No, pretty much everything was already in the article. I read the article. Nothing surprised me here, except that Tucker Carlson doesn't remember a dinner with a random stranger 2 years ago. Give me a name, give me a face. Excuse me, but we've seen Matt Gaetz with quite a few fillies. Rusty's coming tomorrow for At Random. Let's see how he responds to this.
So we have just been informed that we may have something called a vaccine passport.
Oh, the vaccine passport. We're going to move right on to that. I know he responds to the interview. That did not look good for Tucker Carlson. Remember, Tucker Carlson has been accused in the past of sexual misconduct himself. It must come up after the commercial break because I did see this part already on Aaron Rupar or Asen's feed or something like that. Let's watch that.
If you just saw our Matt Gaetz interview, that was one of the weirdest interviews I've ever conducted. That story.
Why? What was weird about it, guys?
Just appeared in the news.
At Random, watch the beginning of Rachel, the first segment of Rachel, and then come back and watch this broadcast because that gives you all the background that you need.
A couple of hours ago. And on the certainty that there's always more than you read in the newspaper, we immediately called Matt Gaetz and asked him to come on and tell us more, which, as you saw, he did. I don't think that clarified much, but it certainly showed this is a deeply interesting story, and we'll be following it. Don't quite
It's a deeply interesting story.
understand it, but we'll bring you more when we find out.
Doesn't understand it. The guy who looks like a confused puppy dog all the time doesn't understand something? What? Why not? What? I mean, we'll know pretty shortly here, right? And I could be wrong. I can always be wrong. I'm very good at being wrong. That's the problem. He looks like a confused puppy dog, but I hate associating him with puppy dogs. Speaking of puppy dogs, At Random's getting Rusty tomorrow. We're all looking forward to that. Producer Joanna actually suggested that we do like a live stream of Rusty. I'm not even sure technically how that would work. And honestly, I don't know that At Random needs to be like messing with her connections while she's playing with Rusty. If I had a dog, honestly, I'd never live stream again. I'd just be sitting playing with my dog. Let's go to Hannity and see if Matt Gaetz then was on Hannity as well.
Is a catch. I don't particularly like.
Hold on. Okay, Hannity.
And I promise you will not.
Let's watch the handoff between the two of them because they sometimes have a little comment. Usually, great show, Tucker, as always.
Tomorrow night and every weeknight, the sworn enemy of lying, pomposity, smugness, and groupthink. Thanks for joining us. Sean Hannity, next from New York.
All right, Tucker. Thank you. Great show. Welcome tonight to Hannity and Buck.
No discussion. Just thank you. Great show. Matt Gaetz has appeared on Hannity's show 100 times, 200 times, and that's all he has to say. Great show.
Up, we're tracking multiple breaking stories. We have more information than we can possibly get in for the full hour, and I promise you will not see or hear this in the other media mob. Now, tonight this includes a new.
I am at the kindness of strangers right now. I don't own this house, and I can't have a dog in this rental house, so no dog. But we do have our kitty, and our kitty roams around freely from time to time. So it's not the same. So am I jealous of At Random? Yes, I am.
Report from San Diego, where that's right, illegal migrant unaccompanied children recently.
Okay, so. San Diego public school teachers, they're volunteering to go to the San Diego Convention Center where these refugee children are now living and to teach them. They're volunteering. I think San Diego's on a spring break right now. A lot of Southern California is. But that's a big story because the San Diego children themselves aren't back in school. You know, the ones who have bedrooms and Wi-Fi and laptops provided to them by the school district if they don't already have a laptop. How come these refugee children aren't using their laptops to learn things? Makes me sick. Let's see if Matt Gaetz comes on.
The journey to the U.S. A 9-year-old.
It's doing the stupid thing where it.
You know, as a special gift.
It's showing me the preview window, but it's way over on the side. Can you guys see that? No, you can't even. Yeah, you can. Yeah, see the preview window? It's like way over on the side. So, okay, so first, Lara Trump. She's now a Fox reporter, by the way. Or not a reporter, but a correspondent for Fox. Let's see if he's going to talk about Matt Gaetz in the second segment. Nope, it's filibuster news. So exciting for the general population. I know, everyone in the United States is so abuzz about the filibuster right now. Here's the next segment.
Coronavirus origins, which you pay for because Joe.
Okay, coronavirus being reported in a lab. Okay. Created in a lab. Do we have... Who's he got on for that? Oh, God. Senator Kennedy. Well, it must suck to be that dumb. Okay, so he has vaccine passport. We're all up in arms about vaccine passports. Senator Cruz visits the border. Again, Matt Gaetz is a regular on this program.
She told how she has been haunted, sleepless nights.
Got Greg. That is not Matt Gaetz. And lots of room for guests. Hannity will bring somebody on for 2 minutes, gone. He's got an hour-long show. No Matt Gaetz. No Matt Gaetz. Does anybody know? Was he on Laura Schlesinger today?
To give you truth you won't get from them. And let not your heart be troubled. Laura Ingraham, she's going to kill it as usual. That's my prediction.
And by it, she means American people taking hydroxychloroquine.
Well, we have to put it in a very kind and gentle manner, lest we be mischaracterized by the left. We have to be.
Oh, you mean it's going to be Hannity said that Laura Ingraham is a killer?
I'm going to gently
cancel
usher in ever so gently the next hour of programming. Never killing, never.
All right, is she going to cover Matt Gaetz at all? Is that because that's kind of the big story right now in the news, I think. Let's look at Laura, see if she covers it. The Ingraham angle. Waiting.
As
Here
usual.
comes.
That's my prediction.
Okay, so her big story.
Long overdue. But Democrats somehow see this as a threat to their power. So they and their media lackeys are viciously mischaracterizing these measures as, you guessed it,
Mischaracterizing.
racist.
What Georgia has done in this bill is, in essence, said to a group of folks in Georgia that you don't matter and you don't count.
This is Jim Crow Redux.
Fact checker.
Okay, I'm not seeing any Matt Gaetz headline here. Is this Matt Gaetz? That's not Matt
twice
Gaetz.
as long.
Is this Matt Gaetz? That is not Matt Gaetz.
Going in.
Matt Gaetz?
It is despicable.
Oh, no. Dr. Scott Atlas is on her show all the time. Remember, Dr. Scott Atlas said that not more than 10,000 Americans would die by the coronavirus. He was only wrong by 50, multiple of 50.
Chokeholds never should have been permitted. And then we had this woman, Genevieve Hansen, who's a 2-year firefighter / EMT, and she's critiquing the police officer's performance from a medical perspective. And so she gets into arguing with the lawyer almost like she was an expert witness. And I think the fact that she got rebuked by the judge certainly does score one for the defense.
Wow. Okay, I am not watching the trial. I'm avoiding the news right now, guys. I can't. It just breaks my heart. Does Matt Gaetz come up later in the show? No? Who's this? Go ahead.
Mask wearing self.
I'm most definitely concerned for others. It was actually for that very reason that.
So this woman was removed from church for not having a mask.
I sat in the very, very far right back of the church, completely socially distanced. I was not even 15 feet close to the nearest person. So.
Deirdre, what went through your mind? I mean, I'm watching this video and I'm thinking, we have people walking across the border. We don't know who they are.
Okay, it's got nothing to do with the border. She has a home. She has a nice crucifix. That's worth some money. So I'll give her a mask if I see her. Why not just wear a mask? Why not? It's just a piece of cloth. You're not even putting on roofing. You're just sitting in the back of a church. Put a little piece of cloth. Get a gaiter. Let's watch this video that they're speaking of, because apparently. And then Kevin Lee Daughter sent me something. So let's watch this outrage.
Warning, the priest called the police.
Oh, that's awesome. The priest called the police. I'm going to love this story. Coming up on the live stream, Kevin Lee Daughter sent in something she wants us to watch together.
Now, even in states without mask mandates, Americans are still finding themselves under the jackboot of little mini tyrants. Now, last weekend,
you know, priests.
And Deirdre Hairston, her husband, and her 1-year-old baby attended Mass at Holy Trinity Parish in Dallas. Well, during Mass, a priest twice approached her and asked her to put on a mask, despite Texas no longer having that mask mandate. Well, after the second warning, the priest called the police, and this is what happened.
I'm going to put you in handcuffs if you don't stand up.
Let's do this.
Am I getting arrested? No, not right now. But if you don't listen, you will be.
And what would be the reason of that
For
arrest?
criminally trespass, they don't want y'all here.
Criminal,
What's the crime? The business? The church?
Oh my God. Why am I going to get arrested? Well, you're criminally trespassing. They don't want y'all here. Well, what's the crime? This is not your house. You're criminally they don't want you here. You can't be here. That goes for anywhere that's not a public property. And also goes for public property from time to time.
Does not want
Well, what's the crime?
y'all here because you're choosing not to follow the rules.
It's not a law.
And I want the ticket, but they're not to come back.
Yes, this is America. Deirdre Hairston joins me now. Deirdre, what went through your mind? Let's say the
mind.
Pro-mask people out there would say, just put on the mask. You know,
yes!
What's the big deal?
Right.
All of us wear masks at mass because we're asked to. So why didn't you just do it?
Why didn't you just do it?
Right, yes. Well, I'm actually newly pregnant, so I was feeling very nauseous and lightheaded. So I removed the mask and fear that I was honestly going to pass out.
Okay, you wouldn't. But if that's the case, step outside. I'm sure somebody would have brought you a chair, some water. Be happy to do it. Why didn't you tell the officer that you're nauseous and you're pregnant? Maybe she's had kids before. Maybe she was, you know what, honey, I'll take, why don't you come sit in my car? We're not going to arrest you. You just can't be inside anymore, okay? You're trespassing. They don't want you here without a mask. Pregnant women can also have the virus and can spread it to others.
So that was why.
And the Catholic Diocese of Dallas released a statement yesterday, Deirdre, saying the young woman involved in this incident that occurred 2 weeks ago was not arrested or ticketed. She was issued a trespass warning. While the bishop has not mandated masks for every parish, he expects the faithful to wear masks out of charity and concern for others. Deirdre, are you not concerned for others?
Hold on, what else did he say?
Was not arrested or ticketed. She was issued a trespass warning.
We recognize that not everyone who can wear masks, we recognize that not everyone can wear masks, but those who can should.
While the bishop has not mandated masks for every parish, he expects the faithful to wear masks out of charity and concern for others. Deirdre, are you not concerned for others? Was that what you were trying to convey with your non-mask wearing self?
I'm most definitely concerned for others. It was actually for that very reason that I sat in the very, very far.
Okay, those are chairs. Inside the church, there are chairs. If she wanted to be outside, she could have been outside. Somebody, hey, I'm feeling a little nauseous. We're just gonna, here. The priest had to call the police. When? I want to see the service as a whole to say, how does the priest have time to call them? But I have no questions. How would I have any questions like this? This just happened 2 hours ago. I'm just hearing about this. How would I know what to ask?
Right.
Oh, before the sermon, he called the cops? Do you know that, Lizzie?
Back of the church, completely socially distanced. I was not even 15 feet close to the nearest person. So.
Deirdre, what went through your mind? I mean,
Oh, Lizzie's just making that up. She doesn't know that.
Watching this video, and I'm thinking, we have people walking across the border. We don't know who they are. I'm not talking about the little kids, but, adult males. I mean, and they're just basically wave right through, not wearing masks, not tested, some of them. And you're treated like a common criminal.
She says not tested, some of them. See, the right has been saying that everyone coming across the border is not tested. A lot of them are tested. All the kids, they're tested. This whole, we don't know if they're sick or not. They're being released into...
At Mass. Oh, what goes through your mind?
It's extreme.
I'm supposed to look at Marcy's comment. Okay, hold on. I don't know that I can. Sorry, guys. Let me bring back David McGee and put him over here. Stop! You guys are confusing me.
extremely upsetting. I was frightened. It was shocking. And to think that we are getting the police called on us while attending Mass in a sanctuary is completely uncalled for. And I think it really shows a lack of leadership and clarity from our bishops, from our state leaders of what really are the rules.
Well,
Marcy made it funny. Marcy said the cops don't call 911. They call IXII.
any comment from the fellow parishioners? I mean, were they helpful? Were they asking the police to maybe go find someone else to ticket?
No, actually, not one single person in the church was remotely saying a word about it. They were all just watching as it happened.
Well, fun fact, priests are in church.
Which is shocking to me. I mean, I was holding my 1-year-old daughter, kneeling and praying. I had the Eucharist on my tongue when 3 police officers come to arrest me. And to think that not one person said anything.
Why didn't you swallow the Eucharist? Oh, wait, are we supposed to hold it there and savor it? Do we let it dissolve? Wait, if you had the Eucharist on your tongue, is it one of those places where the priest comes around and gives you the Eucharist? How is that even done now? How do you give Eucharist during COVID? Does anybody know?
Or cared is very frightening, honestly.
Oh, okay, we have video of it. She walked up to the priest. I was all socially distant. I wasn't within 15 people. 15 people. I was trying to remember what she said that wasn't grammatically correct, and I screwed it up myself. I wasn't within 15 feet of other people. There's her walking up to the priest. No mask on. Oh, but she was feeling nauseous. But please, give me something to eat, Father.
Deirdre, again, I can't believe this is the United States of America, and I'm really sorry you had to go through this. Thank you for sharing this story. Everyone's got to wake up. You can't submit to this.
How do you not see this, Laura? I'm newly pregnant. I was feeling nauseous. I thought I was going to faint. Anyway, here's me walking up to the priest. Please put something in my mouth. I'm going to let it dissolve. Because you know when you're nauseous, you always want things dissolving in your mouth. I've never been pregnant. That's a lie. I've had 3 abortions, but that's real. That's a complete other. I don't want to get into it right now. All right, speaking of palate cleansers, Kevin Lee's daughter sent me this and told me to show it to you guys. Looks like it's something off of, where is it? It looks like it's something off the Tick and the Talk. So, and she said, watch with the volume off, which tells me that there's probably a song behind it. You can go watch this yourself. Hold on, let me see if I can make it big. I can't, oh my God, hold on. She said watch it, so it looks like it starts... I'll do this. Hold on. I'll make it big for you guys because I care. And there. Now you guys can see it. Let's rewind. Here we go. So someone's cutting up a sock, it looks like. Oh, the cat doesn't like that. Poor kitty. Is that the whole thing? Why would Kevin Lee's daughter... Okay, we'll watch with a little bit of sound. Here we go. At the right time.
My mom and my sis had to kick my own blood out. They must have forgot I was a...
Okay. I don't find that particularly amusing. YouTube delay is 44 seconds. Plagued by Society says, I hate to tell you, but your doctor was lying to you. Now it's gone. I can't read it. I'm sorry. Yeah, I apologize, guys. I thought that was going to be a palate cleanser. Now I just feel bad for the cat. Although, you know, like peanut butter and cats and dogs, that's good fun. Kitten Mittens. We should watch Kitten Mittens. Lizzie says, hate to tell you, but your doctor was lying to you if he said you were getting an abortion. Might want to check that out, Kevin. There's nothing to check out anymore. Okay, kids, here's some credits. Stick around afterwards if you want to talk about your weight loss goals. I sound like I'm going to sell you like acai bowls or something. These amazing vitamins. Make sure to stay around. We'll talk a little bit more about your nutraceutical needs. Friends, I want you to stay healthy. Watch the credits. Lizzie's got a palate cleanser coming up, so stay tuned for that. There's a bunch of people. Green Room. I haven't broadcast in the morning for a little while. I feel remiss because that's when all the Europeans come aboard, like Green Room and Barb and stuff like that. I've been doing this late at night because the news has just been happening late at night. So we got a palate cleanser coming to us from Lizzie. Lizzie, how are you getting it to us? That's what we all want to know. Let me pull up the Twitters in case you're going to DM me something. At Random has generously agreed to supply us with a little Rusty action during the Zoom movie. So if you want to watch a Zoom movie with us on Friday, figure out a way to get in touch with us. The best way is to become a patron at kevinleefather.com. Join us for our Zoom movie on Friday. Usually 6 p.m. Pacific time, so we'll try and do that. Watch your music down. I DM'd you. Watch with music down. Okay, so she DM'd me something, and we'll watch with music off. Oh, first off, I'd be remiss again in my duties if I didn't show you guys this. This is Lizzie's dog, and this is Lizzie's dog's collar, and it glows at night. So if you want a dog collar that glows at night, reach out to Lizzie Dog. I think that's Penny, right? Let's watch this with the sound off. Hold on, I'll make it big. It's coming. It's coming. Let's go to display. Here we go. We'll rewind. Skinnerd. Well, she really seems to love it. Certainly more enjoying this than the cat was. Or enjoying this more. Let's let it play out a little bit, and then we're going to add a little bit of music to it. Just a second. Whoa, really loud. Hold on. We'll tap this way, way down so you guys just get the feel for it. Okay. Well, that's a cute kid. All right. Lizzie just sent another. Thank you, Lizzie. And I don't know where the other one is. So, oh, here we go. Can I play this with the music up? Okay, hold on. Oh, it's got a dog. Here we go. We might get lucky here. This one's got a dog. Let me make it big for you guys. And then we'll say goodnight. We're not going to do any weight loss stuff tonight anyway. I've already been doing this for too long. Here we go. Let's give it some volume and go back. Here we go. Hold on.
Stop might be a little bit codependent, and I just thought, that's ridiculous. Dogs can't be codependent, you know? Like, what would that even look like? A codependent dog. We have a perfectly healthy relationship. I was talking to someone this week who was like, I think your dog might be a little bit codependent, and I just thought, that's ridiculous. Dogs can't be codependent, you know? Like, what would that even look like? A codependent dog. We have a perfectly healthy relationship. I was talking to someone this week who was like, I think your dog.
Oh, I made it big. I didn't even know I could do that. Yeah, that was kind of funny. What up, Yoshi? We're done. We're done. Sorry. Yeah, don't give your dog soda, please. But that was funny. That was funny. That's not what a codependent is. It's one of the things that bothers me is the definition of insanity being repeating the same action over and over and expecting a different result. That's not the definition of insanity. That's the definition of practice. That's okay. Todd says, you see how Matt brought Tucker in to the case. Matt brought Tucker in to the case. Todd might be a little bit behind us. I think he might be watching this delayed. I don't know. Okay. Cinematography class. That sounds awesome. Oh, dear. Oh, final. Oh, so now you're a cinematographer. Okay, so here's one more from Lizzie. I'm hesitant, but here we go. Okay, and can we make it big? I don't know why. I don't want to log into anything. What? Okay, how did I make it big? There. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Can I rewind? Here we go. I'll see what happens if I get this volume. Nelson. Let's go from the beginning. Okay, it says my neighbors must love me, so that's the beginning. Oh, for the love. Just go. No! Just make it... Okay, now I've failed you people, and I'm sorry. I don't know. What am I doing differently? Okay.
Hey, Nelson. Nelson. Can I get a... Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's funny. I'm glad yeah. Glad I stayed around for that. All right, kids, that's a broadcast. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow. Maybe we'll come on a little bit early so the good folks over there in the Europe can join us live. It's always fun to hear from them. Poor Donkadonk. No, the Donkadonk seems to be enjoying it. Nelson knows his name, knows what he's supposed to do, and seemed to be enjoying it. Then was right back to being a donkey. So I don't have a problem with that. Nobody put a sock on his head. Guys, be good to each other. Be good to yourself. We will see you tomorrow on the live stream.